Hi team, good evening. Good evening, Shiva. We will start session at 6.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening. Okay, at 6, exactly at 6, we will start the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, team. Okay. Is everyone in YouTube able to hear me? Ravikant, Shiva, can you able to hear me, right? So, okay, it's 6. So, without wasting time, we will start the session. 1 minute. Why? Okay, pen is not working. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, it's okay. Okay, let's begin. The agenda for today and tomorrow will be, we are going to start a new module, that is Selenium 4. Initially, it was not a part of our trading plan, but recently I felt like we can also add that. So it's a new model added. And also the last module, SQL, also replaced by the Docker. I'll be teaching that at the end, because in the recent interviews, nowadays they are asking about, do you know anything about Selenium 4? So first we will try to learn about the difference between what in version 3 and what in version 4. And then this particular topic, for example, you are already as an automation resource, you're working in some company. Now you want to migrate from version 3 to version 4. What are all you need to do it? So in the framework level, using real-time project setup, I will explain you. And then from here, all the Selenium 4 features, like what is update happening, wait statement, WebDriver manager, and this relative locator concept, something very new and also very, what to say, the very useful one. Then how can we handle authentication, taking screenshot, like this we have. And at the end, some Chrome dev option. Very finally, Selenium Grid, that is parallel execution. Before and all this, doing Selenium setup in third version is very complicated. Now this was totally, the backend architect, it's totally replaced, and they just came up with Selenium 4. Lot of advantages, very easy setup actually. So we will try to explore one by one. First, we will try to understand what is Selenium 3 architecture. Let me be very frank, this understanding the architecture is quite complex or a little bit dry topic if you already know coding part. So don't put a lot of stress on understanding this. Just try to correlate with what we have done in the coding part. So I'm just starting with coding part. Assuming what is the prerequisite for this classes, you must know Selenium 3. So without Selenium 3, if you try to watch this, that is going to be, it will create confusion for you. If you already know Selenium 3, then it is going to be easy, or else watch the Selenium 3 and then come back to Selenium 4. Okay. In Selenium 3, when we want to use any browser, for example, here I'm considering Chrome browser, what you will do? Usually, we will create the driver object in the WebDriver interface. It's an interface. What is interface and all? We have seen it in Java. Please refer it. So creating a driver object in WebDriver interface for whatever be the browser. It's a Chrome driver or Firefox driver or Edge driver. Accordingly, we will do it. So we will use the WebDriver interface. So this is what the code we were doing it in all the program. Keep this point in your mind. I'll try to correlate with a lot of definitions. So in real time, what we are doing, for example, IDE, it can be Eclipse. So as of now, we used Eclipse or IntelliJ. So you're doing the coding part. Code using any programming language. We have used Java, even if it is Python, it's not an issue. So the machine should be able to understand, the Selenium should be able to understand the programming language, right? So Selenium language binding, we will download it. This is a Java file. So here on this only tell whether it's a Selenium 3 or Selenium 4. I will show once again where we will see this download files and all. So we will download that Java file, and whichever the browsers you are going to use, you will use the respective driver for that particular browser. Firefox means it will be like Gecko driver, Chrome driver, Safari. Accordingly, we will download and keep it .exe file. You know, these are all again why we need API. You know the importance of interface. So interface means what? It will hide the internal code implementation and just highlight the functionality to the user. So it means if someone wants to use the Firefox browser for automation purpose, through this person, through this driver, through this API only can use it. It means you can use it, but you can't see the source code of Firefox browser. So that is where the API interface comes into a important picture. Same thing. So that's why every component, everything came with API because of interface concept. So when you in real time, what's happening is when you run this program, so it will create the object for whichever be the browser. And if you put .get, the URL means, then this WebDriver will launch it and navigate to that URL. So this is what we know front end. But what actually happens in the backend is whatever you are sending this comments to the driver, that is from your Eclipse ID to the real browser through this driver file, everything, all the informations will go as a JSON wire protocol. So what do you mean by JSON? This is quite something related to web services. You no need to worry about it, because once I complete Selenium 4, then Cucumber framework, we are going to start web services. At least for a month, all the important web services tools I will be teaching you. At that time, you will understand what is get, post, and delete. As of now, I will give you just an overview. So web service means it is just like communication happen between client and the server. For example, you are searching a book ticket. You want to search a flight ticket in Go Ibibo. When the second you hit source and destination, what is happening is it will go and hit all the airline server and it will display the availability of that. So everything happens through the web service. So here, same way, when we run the automation, launch the browser, close the browser. So what literally happens is every command, everything, it will go as a JSON protocol. So in specific, so you have this link. If you click on this, it will be there. You need to navigate to the respective page. I will upload this into the Canvas portal very soon, once the session is over. So you can scroll down and see it. In the bottom, see here how literally happens. So when you want to create a session, means it's a post. Get means getting the details. In simple, it is like post means creating a Facebook ID. Get means trying to search your friend's details, it will give it. Delete means deleting your Facebook ID. Just an example I'm saying. So everything when you do it, the communication happens through this APIs only. So web services, either through XML or JSON. So this is how it is sending. When you do something like refresh a current page, means how this code will communicate between these two parties. That is the ID and this browser is everything to HTTP server, JSON wire protocol. So just for knowledge only, you can see and explore for everything how this particular details are going. Click on an element. This is how in the backend through this URL, it will go and communicate to that particular browser. Sometimes launch the application. Okay, launched and it will give some successful status. Sometimes you want to retrieve the value. So get, we will use it. Post, delete. Like this, we have so many, like 4 to 5 HTTP method we have it, but the Selenium third architecture is designed with the help of mostly using these 3 HTTP method. And like launch the application, then through this browser driver, it will go and launch the real browser. After that, it will give the status, yes, it is launched. Then it will come and print in the IDE. So this is what happens in Selenium 3 architecture. Now, using the JSON wire protocol. Now what they did is, they just removed this in-between layer, that is JSON wire protocol. They removed it Directly we are going to communicate with the driver through the browser. So a lot of definitions we are going to see here. So many fundamentals. I'm saying no, this is quite it's very tough to explain, also quite dry topic, but I will give my best. Just understand everything for knowledge purpose. But if you are going to attend like an architecture interview, your experience is more than like 6 to 7 years, definitely they will ask you what's the difference between Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. So at that time, this video is going to be very useful. So first you understand what happens normal way, the communication between WebDriver and the browser. So you are creating the code, right? WebDriver, driver object, new Chrome driver. Well, literally what happens. See, when you run the Selenium test case, it will create a communication with the browser. So it is having some rules like this is how I should share the information. This is how I should get the information. So that is what it uses a set of rules. So now if I want to communicate, whenever there is communication between two parties, it should be neutral language, right? It should be a simple word. It's a common language, right? So here, what is that language is protocol. So they follow some protocol. Because of that, we can able to communicate between the WebDriver and the browser. So each browser again have its own driver. Driver means for Chrome driver, Gecko driver, this one only they are saying. So every driver is having what? Protocol. Again, so this should follow some protocol. So when every browser follows the same protocol, means it is going to be easy for me to do a communication, that is using the WebDriver interface directly with this. So this is what we are doing till now. Now in Selenium 4 architecture, what they have done is we removed this. What is this? JSON wire protocol. Totally we removed it. We came up with some new concept. There is no intermediate any protocol. They follow W3C standard protocol. So first of all, we must know what is that. W3C means it's a wide web consortium. So let me put it a simple example. So when you want to do a Java Oracle is a person, they give the naming convention of a variable, methods, user-defined method, constant should be capital. Like that, it is giving some standard, right? This is how you should do it. It is not a rule, but if you follow that, just imagine how many developers are on the world. If I can able to give my code, everything should be common, everything should be readable. If you are not deciding that naming convention, okay, you just name IJK, then it will be very tough for other developers to understand the requirement or the coding concept. So that is the reason they came up with, okay, if you're going to do automation, you have to follow this setup. Same way, the web development. So when you want to create a website, you have to follow some coding standards. So that's where this W3 standards came. So it is again an international community. I think this community from MIT University in US. So they developed and recommended the coding standards for the web development, because we are going to automate multiple web browser. All are related to web application, right? So W3C, if you follow it, it is going to have a lot of advantages. Again, because we have billions of websites, everyone follow their own standard, means just imagine automating such things going to be a troublesome. So if we follow proper coding standard, it is going to be very easier. So the main objective is to make sure the website will work in most effective way in all the different browsers. So if it is like you're developing a product, a web page, first you're using in Chrome. You would have done development in Chrome. What if the user is from user Safari or Edge, it should work here also, right? How that is possible? Only if we follow a proper coding standard, or else it is going to sometimes some of the functionality may not work. So that's where this W3C standard protocol came. So the Selenium here, the Selenium WebDriver protocol defines the way that browser actions are executed. So for example, if you want to enter the value, use the send case, then for click, dot click, actions, then what else? We have seen a lot of things, right? Select. So these are all fixed ones. So this is the how you should handle a checkbox, radio button. So it defines its own protocol based on how this is defined, based on the web development. So everything's are having a common understanding, means an automation going to be easier in all the browser, or else it won't work in all the browser. That's the main objective. So here this Selenium WebDriver protocol, again, what that? It is an interface. So that what it will do, it will try through that interface only. It will go and communicate with, here they say agent, nothing but each browser, like launch the application, close the application, move from one page to another application. A lot of activities are there, right? So everything is done through this WebDriver interface. And it is a platform. Again, it's a language neutral wire protocol as a way out of process programs to remain. Again, it's a best simplest way to automate the web application. That is what they are saying. This is how it will communicate. Now, what is an advantage? Okay, there are initially it was like using the JSON wire protocol. Now they moved it to, they just removed that and they said like follow the W3 standard protocol. Now you understood, this is one community is giving some rules and regulations to all the web developers. Just follow it. If you follow, then your website going to work in all the application. Like that, they are fixing it up. Typo error, leave it. Now, some advantages. If you run the, if you understand advantage, you may get more clarity. We have to make sure our automation should run in all the browser, right? One of the problem with UFT tool initially is it will work only in Internet Explorer or Chrome. In IE, it will work perfectly. But if you want to run this in some of the Firefox and all, initially this will never work out. But how about Selenium? Selenium will work in almost all the browsers. So how it is possible? Because it follows the coding standards of the web development. So when you want to run some automation test case, it must run properly in all the important browsers. So there comes the W3 advantages. If they properly follow the web development, script will work. And again, as days goes from like HTML, CSS, so many advancement came in the web development. So there should be some community to put some, what to say, standards. Okay, everyone follow this way of coding, follow this pattern, so that the web development will be even quicker and easier to work. And very, very, very important. This is the point. Actually, we have billions and millions of websites. If you search whether all the web pages will come in the first page, means definitely no. It will come and display, right? How that is happening? The YouTube, what it will do, leave about YouTube, Google search. You're going to check for some company website, just automation tutorials. When you type, why it is showing some websites are in the 10th page, because first it will go and check whether that website is developed with proper coding standard, with proper keyword. Based on that, which is having higher score, which loads very quickly, that is the first page it will display. It means going to improve your business. So when W3 standard are followed, it is good for the better for your website. It is easier to maintain. So whatever I'm saying, I'm talking about web development. I'm not talking about automation. Again, if your website is lightweight, it will load very fast. It will be very fast in loading. And sometimes we will use it in old browsers. For example, IE, even though it is not there, but the website should work. And again, when you develop some code, sometimes some of them will have eye blindness, blindness issues, color issues. They can't read, color blindness. That's a word we have to say, color blindness. But still, they should able to use it. So there are some standards. So if a web developer is going to follow this W3C standard, then definitely we have a lot of advantages. So already what happened is this community from MIT made every web developer to follow this. So everyone started following. Then what this community did, it went and approached the Selenium. Why can't you change your process? Initially, you were doing this JSON wire protocol. Now just remove that, follow the W3 standard protocol, because 99% all the websites are following this. So this going to improve a lot of in terms of performance and everything. So in simple, in Selenium 3, we use the JSON wire protocol. In Selenium 4, we remove that and we follow the W3 standard protocol. That's it. This is about the theory. So it's again having a lot of advantages. Once we see every example, you will get an idea about it. So in a lot of latest advancement also happened in the Selenium side. We'll see one by one as practical usage. First one, Selenium 3. So I have already using the existing project. For your information, this code is in the, I will tell you the module. Specifically, I'm saying this for those who joined recently. If you go here under the modules, all the playlist here. There is this one, module 5. Note it down. This is an execution project. So this project only I'm using. It will have some failure condition. How to fix that failure? So here some test case pass, some fail. That fix is given. So this is the next one, after fix. And level 3 is writing a new test case and creating for new requirement in the existing framework. So I'm using this framework only directly using the Selenium 3. So this is a Selenium 3. How can I confirm that? Maven project setup. So this explanation or this topic is very important, especially at one point of time, you are forced to update your script from 3 to 4. So now, when we talk about Selenium, what is the initially it was 1.7 version Java is used, but in our training I already forced everyone to use 11, because in Selenium 4 they are going to make 11 as a minimum requirement, but still we are on the track, so no need to worry about it. We already implemented a lot of stuffs without your knowledge. I didn't tell that time explanation so that you may get confused. Now you will get a clarity. So 1.7 with older versions of Java, and dependency means I'm using TestNG and a Selenium. So what is this exactly? So Selenium download this website, then MVN repository. I usually follow this MVN repository, Selenium Java. We will compare it. This is a website. And if you go here, what we will do here, see latest stable version 4.4 documentation grid it there. So this is the latest one. And actually for our training, we already started using Selenium 4.4 with latest comment. Very few, just like 10% only we implemented it. Today we will know what are all the new things will come from Selenium 4. So already it is 4.4. To get a over insight, directly go to the MVM, Maven repository. See, let me scroll down. November, like till 2018, it was 3.141.59. So here I think some 7 jar files will be there. 7 or 8 jar files will be here. I think some Java files and all will be here. That is what we did initially. Then what happened? I think 2019 itself, Selenium 4 was introduced, but it was not stable. See, all alpha, beta version. They tried a lot of stuff. But at 2022, they came up with better stable version. Now, how it is like from 2020, see the difference. A lot of initially all about the alpha and beta stage. From at one point of time, it is getting a regular update. It means what? It is on the track. Now you can move to the Selenium 4. It will work. That is what the literal meaning. If they come with some advancement, we have to make sure it is not affecting if you wrote some code using Selenium 3. That is also we have to consider. So here, what is the older version? 3.14159. So if you click on it, this one. So this is what I have mentioned here, 3.149. And latest TestNG, Excel and those stuff. For us, this is very important. With this setup, so just imagine you are working in an automation team, which is still using 3.14. It may the maintenance project or whatever be the project. So let me execute and show you the script. Like 18 test cases. We have already coded it. Like all the screen navigation, register demo using data-driven framework, handling the pop-up, multiple browser web table. So whatever we learned individually in the Selenium class that have created in the framework level using the page factory module, added all the listener. So how to understand this, again, I'm saying it is not in the YouTube, but if you go and click it, this 3 levels of automation through this link only, you can check it, but it's in the YouTube. Directly, it is in the unlisted way. So those who join newly, please make sure don't blindly follow that playlist. In that playlist, these 2 videos are not available. Try to understand this, work on this. Then come to Selenium 4. So without wasting explaining about this framework, let's just imagine you already know the framework. You are working in some execution project in Selenium using the Selenium 3. So it is launched it. So what is our next target is? What will happen if I migrate from 3 to 4? Because one of the biggest, scariest moment in any automation project, if I update my code or some changes, whether it will make already existing script to fail, that fear will be there. That's a reason most of them will never go and update the code. Now we are executing using 3. A lot of spam report. So let's see how this program works. Okay. So data-driven framework is implemented. This is how you will do it in your daily, in your automation project, like executing sanity regression. If something is getting failed, you will go and update the web element. If everything is passed, you will send a report. If something is getting failed, you will analyze and raise a defect. And in the status mail, how many passed, how many failed, how many defects are opened, those status you will send. This is the most common work in mini automation project, either execution or maintenance project. Very rarely you will get opportunity to work in the development project. That's very rare nowadays. 18 passed. So everything is passed. All the reports will be generated here. Let me refresh it. You have to cross check. It's a latest one, because I'm going to copy paste the same thing again. So date modified 13th August. Just now executed. So here it came. See, okay. 18 passed. Fine. So all the test case passed. Now we are moving into the, so as per the slide, this means this is the 1.7 version and a 3.141. But if you want to move to Selenium 4, what you can do, you can use Java 11. This becomes a compulsory. Compulsory nowadays, it is not a compulsory, but the developers of the Selenium already in some conference will happen. They already said Java 11 is so stable. So we decided to go going forward, Java 11 become the minimum version to work in Selenium 4. So that's one latest interview tip. If someone has a difference between, you should talk about Java version. Initially, what was the version? It is 1.7, but in 4, what is the minimum version? It is 11. First point. And then we have to use the latest Selenium 4.3. So if you go and check it on the website, this is what that version. See, 4.3 at the time when I did. Now they released August 9. Just, I think that I did last month presentation. This one, just 1 week before. They came with 4.4. Still, you want to use 3 version means, see here, previous release. Here only you can able to find all the releases. 4.1, this one, all the files. 3.15, 3. This is a commonly used version. This will be having, to my knowledge, like 8 Java files. But when you consider the latest one, you will have like something 67 or 80 plus jar files. Anyhow, just for account. So I'm going to use 4 version with the same existing project setup. So what I will do is, I will copy this. So that in future, if someone make you to, okay, can you update the project from 3 to 4 means, you can take a risk. This one, Selenium 4 demo. I'm going to convert from 3 to 4. Okay, demo is the one, this one. So this is a project, pom.xml. What is the first update you should make it? Make sure we are using JDK 11 since it is already there. So directly I'm mentioning it in pom.xml. So directly you can't understand what is this Maven and all. Please rewatch all the playlist. You must know what is Maven, TestNG, and then Selenium 3. Then only you will understand this particular topic. So first thing is 10. You mentioned 11, but still 1.7. Wait for a while. I will tell how to update this, update the Maven project. Now we have to use Selenium 4. So we are trying to migrate it. So you can copy paste this. Okay, come back here. So the latest version is this one. Always one more tips I am giving. Try to use one version, one. So if it is somewhat near means, always go with one version lesser than that. 4.3 is better because the usage is quite low here. Maybe it may not be stable. So this is a one trick we will follow it. So just copy this and put it here. Oh, sorry. Now what? Okay, I can remove this. So Control S, build process is started. It means what? Under the Maven dependency, see here, whether Selenium added, yes, see, 4.4.3, TestNG. So many jar files added. And very important now, right click on your project, go to the Maven, it's a Maven project, click on update project. Then this is the project you're going to update. Check this force update on snapshot and OK. So it is getting updated. Everything, once again, it will download and update this entire Maven project. Can you all able to see? It is version 11. 11 means what? Initially, what was the version? It was 1.7. Now, Selenium 4 means it should be 11. One good part is whatever we learned till now in the Selenium 3 is using this setup only. It means what? You are already updated. But still, you must know what we learned, that setup belongs to the Selenium 4. Conversion is nothing here. Control C, Control V. That's it. In the property for Selenium 4, it is 11 version, and the dependency of 4, Selenium 4, we have to add it. So all the setup is done. Now I'm going to this one demo. Let me close this to avoid confusion. Okay. Let me execute it. So will it work? We have updated from 3 to 4. It means in your real project, you want to upgrade from 3 to 4. If you add this jar, is it going to affect your project, or whether it will work or not? Let's try to check that now. So 18 passed. Once again, we should able to get 18 passed. So it is working till now. So this page is heavy. So data driven concept is applied with 2 set of data. Handling multiple browser, multiple windows. The same requirement we already did in Selenium. That is what converted into framework. So before going to interview, make sure you are executing it in the framework and updating it. Then only you can able to answer a lot of questions. Okay. See here, 18 pass. It means what? It is working. So even if you upgrade your existing automation project from 3 to 4, it will work. No failure. See, it is working. This yellow color something means it is giving some warning. What is that warning? That's where comes here. Selenium 4 is done. The first feature. So one by one, we will see. What is the first thing you have to update? Now, you just assuming like you are into the automation project. Your company is saying update from 3 to 4 and also accordingly the code. So what will you do? Never work in the existing project. Just take a copy of it. And you updated the Java version. It is 11. You updated the Selenium 4 point something. Then we executed, it is working. Now, the first thing what you need to do is that is, see here, the first first update. I can create, what I can do is I can directly create as one program and then update in the existing framework. So I will create a new package com next-gen AI Selenium for features. So let's try to learn every concept as an individual from a program and then implement in the framework. So this is a package. Directly I create a Java class. Launch application. Launch application. So let me use some existing code. Launch application and try to copy paste the code. So what we will do. System, okay, I'll do for the Chrome. Creating the driver object for the Chrome driver and then trying to create the object in the WebDriver interface for Chrome browser. After this is in Selenium 3 only. Then get some URL. So any URL, randomly I'm giving next-gen URL. So here, the wait statement, usually we have learned wait statement like implicit, implicity wait, explicit, then fluent. Like this, we learned it, right? So when we learned this, what was the code in Selenium 3 is initially, it is driver dot, 1 minute. Okay, I will explain this query at the end. Driver dot manage dot, why it is not, 1 minute. Driver dot manage dot, I'm just using the implicit wait. See, implicit wait initially in Selenium 3, how we used to give is the second, how many second, and in time units we will give time unit dot, whether it's a second, millisecond, microsecond, like that. So this is the way we give it in Selenium 3. So here the method and all, there is no change, either implicit, explicit, everything remains the same, but the duration we have to give like this only in Selenium 3. But now what we are going to do this in Selenium 4 is, I'm just commenting this, we have to give driver dot manage dot timeout dot, no change here. Here, instead of giving 2 parameter, we have to give 1 parameter like duration dot of whatever, in days, hours, millisecond, nanosecond, like this. So I have to give it in the second, like maybe like 30 seconds. So this is how the way of mentioning, see, very important. Definitely they will ask difference between 3 and 4. First thing, what is the Java version? It is 11. Before that, the JSON wire protocol is now removed. Now we are using W3C standard protocol. First point. Second point, Java version. Initially 1.7 is fine. Now we are using Java 11. What is the third point? In terms of maintenance only, I have designed this way. If you are working on minutes, the third one, you have to update the time unit. Instead of like this, you have to mention duration dot of second. Few more example, like timeout driver dot manage dot timeout dot page load time. See here, not this one. If you use the old one, can you able to see deprecated? It means what? It is no more used like this in Selenium 4. Instead of that, go with the first one. That is why it is giving the first option. So how you need to give duration of second according to your one. So page notes like this. So wherever in your automation framework, I'm talking about automation framework. First thing what you need to do is go and just change this way to this way. This is your first maintenance work. So if that is the case, now in the existing framework, what I will do is, this is the one we followed it. See, it is saying like deprecated. So what you need to do, I have to change this to driver.manage.timeout.implicit wait. Here we are giving this value from the properties files. So instead of that, what I should do is duration. Okay, let's go duration of second. Let me hard code it directly here for easy understanding. So first thing, the second I gave this, what happened? It just no more concurrent timeout. So that warning message gone. So first thing, give like this. So this is a one place it is showing. So how can I find this means just open it wherever you see this warning symbol. First you go and read it. So here it is done. Here then what happened here? Let's see. So right. So see here this side. Right sides. See my mouse pointer. Yes, here's something. See? So timeout. You should not give like this. Rather than how you should give. Duration dot of second 60. So I'll copy this. One more, I think so many places. Okay, here also. Page load wait. Okay. Then anything else? Here. Always whenever something is not used, remove it. This will improve your performance of the application and especially while doing CI/CD. So this is done. Almost. See, is there any warning message? No. So this is the first update. What is the update? Wait statement. Wherever you find wait statement in your application, what you need to do instead of implicit wait 20 comma time unit dot of second, just make it duration dot of second. This is a difference. One more example with page load time. Either it's a fluent wait, it's going to be explicit wait, implicit wait, whatever it is, only you're going to change. Instead of two arguments, you're giving it as a single argument. That's it. This is the first two thing to remember. Okay. Now comes the most, now let's try to focus as an individual program. Then I will show it as in the framework level. So Selenium for feature. Okay, let's talk about what is the pain point in every project is. We have the driver object, this one. This will keep up. It will keep on changing this version. This is one of the problem. This one and another problem what we will get it, the version of this particular Chrome driver may be updated, but you not updated. Because of this, a very famous exception you will get it, that is unable to create the session ID. So this means what? Your driver version is not equal to browser version. So what you will do? If it's Maven project, what you need to do, it's very simple. You will go to the pom.xml. Again, you will update that latest version. Sorry, I wrongly said. What you need to do is go to that download website, scroll down, browser. So the latest browser version you have to download, like documentation. See how tough process it is. Documentation. Then I have to go with the latest stable release 104, and then I have to update this. See, it is 104, it is updated. So this needs to be done. Then only our code will work. Just imagine. This is something like we never know when this code going to change. It is not in our hands. Suddenly they will give them update, but still it should work. Because of suddenly you're giving a project, next week something is not working. So it's a very common problem, and we have a different browser, many versions of browser, updating. Sometimes another problem what is happening is updating this driver is quite complex because of admin access. You have to download this. So this problem is very big problem. That is replaced with something called, this is WebDriver Manager. This is the word you should remember. Using this, we are going to launch the application very easily. Before that, we have to add the dependencies. What is that? WebDriver Manager. Go to the MVN. MVN repository WebDriver Manager. You will get a lot of things like this WebDriver Manager. So this is not the right one. Don't give the space. Note it down. It should belongs to io.github.bonigarcia. This one. Just one space take you in a wrong zone. This is the one we needed. Okay, go inside this. See here the latest version, like 5.2 August 3. This is the latest version. You can add this, copy, and then go to the pom.xml, add this. Can add, always try to add at the bottom. Control S. Okay, added, building is done. Okay. Now see the magic. So this is added. So I have mentioned this in the documentation. Link will be there. You can go to this one and directly mention the latest version. Okay. Now comes minute change in how object is created. We already know how the object is created. The object is created in such a way that first we will, let me put this here, comment this. I have to add these programs into the Canvas portal. I'll try to add it very soon. Okay. So this is how we will do it in Selenium 3, right? Now in Selenium 4, it has totally changed the way how we do it. That is, there is no need to tell in this particular case only you have a driver object. Suppose if you have hard coded, your script will not work. Suppose your driver file is old, it will not work. So many problems we have it, right? So this one I'm commenting it. Okay, now see, we have to use web driver manager dot, which browser? It is Chrome driver dot setup. That's it. This one line is, it is replacing one of the evergreen issue with this. Now what this will do? automatically it will go and download it from the respective version, the respective server. See here, it will go and upload, it will download from the server. Everything it will be taken care by the WebDriver manager. And then the second step, so creating a driver object in the WebDriver interface, right? Now this is totally changed. Now what you need to do, you have to create the object for Chrome driver only. So Chrome driver object equal to new Chrome driver constructor. That's it. This code is replaced like this. Again, driver dot get. What is the URL? So the URL is this one. Let me put it that. Double quotes. Let's check whether this will work or not. Driver dot manage dot windows dot maximize semicolon. Okay, we will execute. Will it work or not? Let's see. See what? Automatically everything happened in the back end. Don't trust me. I'll delete this folder. No driver file. See, there is no driver file. I never mentioned any driver file anywhere. Now, let me execute. See, directly. This WebDriver will take care of everything. Automatically, it will go to the respective Chrome driver website and download that version. It will set up by itself. You no need to do it. And object creation is different. You no need of WebDriver interface itself. Directly create because here we are communicating directly with the browser. So Chrome driver object, new Chrome driver constructor. One more time. Because the driver folder itself I deleted. Will it work? Because let's see. It's working. One of this is something like most irritating problem for all the automation tester updating this. Now it is solved. Just like that, it is solved. Okay. What about the Firefox? 1 minute in. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry. Okay. This and all I'm just removing. This one is for Chrome, right? Same program I will use it. I'll put comments already. Now let's try to code this for Firefox. So WebDriver manager dot, see, Chromium, Edge, Firefox, IE, everything. Is there anything else like Safari, Opera, everything? For now, it is Firefox. No need to worry about this COVID and all. Dot setup. Then we have to create the driver object for the Firefox driver. So Firefox driver, I think this is a small f. Driver object equal to new Firefox driver semicolon. Let's import it. You no need to take notes and all. It is already mentioned in the slides. I'll give you those slides. You can see that slide before going for an interview. Gecko. It launched. I didn't do any update. It works. Such a big problem, right? We solved just like that. And if you see here, it follows the W3C. Here also we can cross check, are we using the latest version? W3C means it follows the Selenium 4. Okay. What about Edge? Let's do that also. WebDriver manager dot it is edge dot setup edge driver object new edge driver imported. What happened? Okay. Okay. Yes, this will download the latest version automatically in your laptop. You no need to worry about the versions anymore. Let's see. See, I never mentioned any driver file, hard coded path. Still, it works. So that is the pretty good thing about WebDriver Manager. Actually, this came before itself, but it was not so stable. But now it became very stable. This is what I have mentioned in this. So one important takeaway point here is WebDriver is fine. WebDriver Manager. Even I will not give space also, because if you search with space, it will take you to somewhere. I already gave that dependencies link also. Please make sure you're using this, and also see Docker builder for Selenium WebDriver. So Docker concept and all, we will go at that time. This is going to be very easy for you. This is the one you should refer it. Then see the difference. This is in the Selenium 3. This is in the Selenium 4. Just for better understanding. And how will you do in Firefox? How will you do in Edge? Now comes, okay, boss. Now the problem in my project is, this is again an evergreen problem. Copy paste specific version. Sometimes we may not have the, what to say, admin access. This will happen, guys. So you don't have the admin access. You can't, okay, it found like it is saying like some error we are getting. After using this also, just assume in your project, some error is happening, WebDriver. This Chrome driver version is not the one you wanted. This is downloading the latest driver. But the problem here is your browser, it is not in the latest version. Let me take this one. Help about Chrome. Since it's a personal laptop, automatically it is getting updated. What if you are working in some office laptop? This will be disabled. You can't update anything by yourself. Everything will be taken care by the IT support team. But then what I will do? You have to wait till this happens. You have to raise a ticket and do it, right? For that also, they give one super fix. Just remember this version. Copy this. Okay. Now, instead of this WebDriver, Chrome driver dot setup, what you can do is dot driver version. See, this is a method. Driver version, and it is saying, see, string means what? You have to give within the double quotes. So you can be very specific to what version you're going to do the setup. That's it. Now also, this is again a very evergreen problem. You will definitely face these types of problem when you work in client laptop or VDI machines. You will not have the admin access, but still you have to work with the daily execution. You can go and give versions like this. So all the pain point of automation is literally answered in Selenium 4. That's why I added this one new module. Even though maybe your existing company using 3, but at one point of time, you will be forced to move to 4, but you should not feel, oh my God, what I'm going to do. It's very easy actually. Like 4 to 5 features, if you remember, it's enough. See, it is working. It worked. Can you able to see what is the version? even though it has started some other version, but still see, we can be specific. Okay, execute in this version. I think here, this is a old code. Directly, it will download the latest version. This one is to the specific. I have mentioned here. This slide still I didn't upload. I will do it today or maximum by tomorrow in the PDF format. I will create a Selenium 4 module and upload all these programs also. I think no need of program, at least this one I will do it. Some big programs that I will upload it. Okay, so it means what? We are done with what else? Wait statement is done. Wait statement means by saying this, wait statement format, time format. That makes sense, right? Then WebDriver manager. 2 topics we done. Now comes the most important feature, that is relative locator. What is that? Before that, let's recap our basics. I hope you all remember something about our basics. 1 minute team. Let me cross check. So till now, everyone good? Please let me know. All clear till now, YouTube team, and I think I can able to read the comments in the Zoom team. Yeah, very easy to handle. Of course, Selenium 4 is very interesting. Okay, but let's go to the. Still, I'm not entering into Selenium 4. Just in Selenium 4 also, we are having 8 locators only. There is no new locators. Just fundamentals. If you want to identify a particular web element means, what is important? The locator choosing is important. I already said 90% it's all about object identification. This, if you understood this, you can be a rock star. 10% only actions perform. So it means what? This is important. For this, what I said, first go for ID, then go for name. If this is not working, go for the XPath. XPath means relative XPath. In the relative XPath, also you can implement ID and name. So if you learn this trick, any project, even mobile automation also, you can go and just like that hit it. Yes, CSS Selector. We don't have that many features, but CSS Selector also equally important like XPath. This is what we learned initially. We should never use tag name, class name. Maximum go with the XPath. And these two specifically are specially designed for handling the links. So link text means we have to give the exact text, how it is displayed in the application, full text. Partial link text means that partial value. So these are all we have already learned. Now comes the next feature that is called relative locators. Very, 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 very important. And it is one of the best feature. Actually, I worked this feature in UFT too. UFT like indexing concept and all, they just brought it into the Selenium also. But there is something called relative locator. Based on my nearby, I'm trying to identify. So they are bringing that concept here. Literally, they copied from UFT, but still it is worth. What are all the 5 relative locators? Below, above, to the left of, to the right of, near. 5 methods. And what is the package? It is the main class is relative locator. Remember, relative locator itself, a class is there. Let's see how to implement this. This is going to be very interesting. And trust me, if you're going to work in DevOps project, Agile, Scrum, whatever it is, the objects and all, you will not able to find it even with the help of XPath. At that time, this relative XPath is going to save you from big problems. Okay. let's try to create a program. Create a class relative locators. Public static void main finish. Now let me use the existing code rather than to the specific. I'll go like this, or I will use this register demo because we have seen a lot of examples, so it is easy for you to remember each web elements. End-to-end test case also you are done using this only. Okay, so this one. Okay. Now the first one. What is the first one? That is relative locators using the below method. Okay, what is that below method? What's this? See, I'm going to identify the first name based on the nearby. Simple. Relative locator means based on the relative nearby. And of course, nearby is also one method based on something which is near to some us. So either it is going to be left side, right side, top, bottom, like that. So here, this first name, it is what? It is below the register for demo, right? So just imagine here, if you go and inspect, no doubt on it, you're going to find all the ID, name and all. Just imagine, nothing is there. Only input type equal to text. Same thing, input type equal to text for last name names. Even XPath also, it won't work easily. So we should find some way. This is the worst scenario in the automation. I'm talking about the worst. Nothing is, no object, no unique object. Even XPath sometimes may not work. So what can we do is, this is the only way you can do it. Using something nearby. So here, the first one, I'm trying to find the title. So this title one. So let me copy that. So let me try to find the title. So I'll put title, web element, title equal to driver dot find element by dot xpath. I'm not giving a relative xpath, directly I'm giving semicolon. Initialize, declare. This is a good programming practice. Don't give this directly somewhere. That's an ugly coding. Don't do that. So you saying this is an object of the title. We found it. Now, first name. Let's try to find the first name. How? Web element first name equal to driver dot find element by dot. Of course, you can give ID here. The ID is there. Sometimes class, sometimes input tag. As of now, this is like an additional thing I'm giving. First, we'll go with the ID. For example, ID is dynamic. Let it be. ID is dynamic, but still you have used ID. ID. Okay. So what this is the, what to say? This is the object identification of first element. In a normal way, we used to give, right? But here, how we should give is not this way. It is driver dot, they have created find element, and then here one more method that is called relative locator. See, locator, Selenium support dot locator. That's why I've mentioned that in the screenshot. Dot with, this is something syntax you have to by heart it, no other go. With, now what, with what you're trying to find using the ID. What is that ID value? So this is an ID value. In future, it has changed to some other value. Let it be. But still, you're saying even if this is fail, just imagine you're saying it is below what? Dot. Here. This is again inside that. See the curly braces that this close bracket is very, very important. Dot below. Below what? Below the title, you're saying. That's it. So now what will happen? By chance in future, if this getting changed, but still you gave a reference, what? It will be below the title. If you find that send keys, let's see. Will it work? Let's check it. I'm going to use the same concept for all the things. Don't worry about the syntax. Once you code only, you can able to remember. Just understand the concept, how to explain it in the interview. That's more important. See, it is working. Okay, boss, you mentioned ID, so it should work. How sure that it didn't use this one? Let's try some other combination. Instead of ID, I never tried it. I'm just going to take a risk now. What if I give input tag? What if? Let's see whether it will work. It's a tag name. I already said we should never use tag name. Will it work? If it is not working, then we can put a message to the developers. The worst scenario, I'm trying without any trial in life. Luckily, I'm escaped. It's working or not, team? It's worked, right? According to our rules, what? We should never use tag name. If you're going to use tag name, how many tags we have it in this web page? It will never work. It will throw the exception. I'm unable to find it. But now what you're saying, even though it found a lot of duplicates, but still what you mentioned, it is below the title. So this is one best example. I'm saying it again. This is the way, in the worst case, when there is no web element, you should follow this approach. Understand? Nothing is there, then you can follow this approach. This will happen only in the Scrum project. Sometimes the developer, we can say, man, can you give some idea, something? Sometimes the developer may not accept it. At that time, you can follow this. Or else, it is like you are increasing the probability of success. By chance, in future release, if this ID value changes also, then also it will work. Because you are saying this is below, something below that, it will work. First one is completed. Below. See? Here, this is that example. I already mentioned the exact code in the syntax. What here is driver.find element, relative locator dot with, what is the locator you are using? Relative locator class name and the method name. So you're using a class relative locator. Then the method is with, and you're passing by what locator, followed by what is the relative concept. It is below the title. First concept is completed. This is quite technical part. Everyone good? Zoom team, please ping me. All good? Let me check the YouTube guys. No. Xcaster. Can we use this in Selenium 3? Impossible. Because these are all the concepts of Selenium 4. To use that, you must add Selenium 4 respective versions. Okay. Next one. All the examples I'll try to put it in the same program so that I will upload this into the what is that? Upload the Canvas portal. You can download and execute it. You no need to even code also. Just follow this. So, above. Okay. This time, what I will do is, okay, above, right? So if you consider address, this is a street address. This is the apartment number. So I'm saying street address, it is above the apartment number. Am I right? Street address is above, right? It is above. That is what I'm going to do it now. So first try to find what is the relative, what is the one you're going to refer. That is the one first you have to define it. So this is the one here. What is this? Apartment address, and it is, let's go with ID. Web element apartment. I'll put apt, right? That's enough. But still it starts with small letter. Driver dot find element by dot ID semicolon. Now comes above element. So what we are trying to find? We are trying to find the street address. Already it is defined. Now we are going to find the street address equal to driver dot find element what relative dot locator, not locators, locator dot with using what? By dot any value, which either it is static or dynamic, that never matters. It will work. Let's see, based on this. Even if you mention tag name also, it will work here. So tag name is the last worst scenario I'm saying. And most of them will do mistake here only. If you put dot here, nothing will come. See, above, below and all, nothing will come. Remember, the one which you are passing, that this concept is inside which class? Relative class. So curly braces. That if I click here, can you able to see that one? This one is nothing but closing bracket of this. So after this, you have to put dot. It is above. Above what? It is above the apartment number. Semicolon. So you can put like this, or else you can dot. For easy readability, I'm putting it like this. Okay. Easy readability. Now dot send keys some XYZ. Let's see whether this will work or not. I think this itself we can able to do it today. It worked. See, it is above that. But still, because of this is a unique value, that in itself it will work. Why we need this again? This type of questions will come for intelligent people. Trust me, in real-time project, the object will be so dynamic, so like e-commerce websites. These things and all, identifying using even a relative XPath itself very tough. Just go and try with GoIBibo website. It is not at all possible for you to find the unique web element. After that, you found some way with the help of some objects. There comes the relative. So first one we did using the below, using reference to that relative object. My object is below that. Then my object is above that. So two things are done. Code, it is already explained in the screenshot. I will upload this. Now, next one. Relative locators. Maybe two left of method. All of these things are method. See, it's a method bracket. Method bracket. You can see now. See, it's a method. We have to pass that object. Directly don't give like this here. Such a worst coding practice that no one will understand what is this that. Don't do that. Always initialize it. Your code will be read by someone after some years. Okay. Now, what example can teach you is, I already prepared it. Okay, let's consider this particular checkbox. Okay. Let's see how many of them good in English. Tell me to the left of, okay. I want to select the U of T. I want to check the U of T. Directly you can give. I can tell this U of T is what? To the left of what? TestNG. Am I right? If you take an object, this is called their left and this is called their right, right? When you see left, right, everyone understood this one word. Most of them will do mistake here only. Zoom team, good. What is the meaning of left? Especially while explaining, they give some idea and ask you to do it, means you should remember for that object, for TestNG, U of T is left, right? Not that, right? Hope you all got it, right? Same thing, I'm going to do that. Web element. What is the reference? Let's take TestNG. I can put it here. Okay, first I'll type that also. So U of T check box is to the left of TestNG. To the left of TestNG. Now, first we have to find this TestNG. No, that is a relative object. I'll take ID. Web element TestNG equal to driver dot find element by dot ID. Semicolon. Okay. Now we are going with to the left. Web element. I want to check what? U of T. U of T equal to driver dot find element relative locator dot with what using, I'll go with ID or whatever. In future, even if it changes, this will work with ID and its value. Remember, put semicolon and come back here, put dot. This is 2 to the left of that particular web element. What is that web element? To the left of TestNG. If you find this, then you just select it. Let's see whether this will work or not. It worked, right? See, EFT is to the left of TestNG. Perfect. Now, next one, relative locators to the right of. So now what I will tell again, it is explained in this also. To the left of. Same example, ditto, I am following it. So that when you watch this recording and that material, it will match. Programs also, it will match. Okay. Now, this one. I want to, okay, shall we take, okay, for a change, functional testing. So, or You can also check this one. I think this is an example I used it. Others only. Yes, you want to use others. Same example. So others is to the right of functional testing. Am I right? If you consider others as functional testing as a reference relative, for this, I'll put relative. For this is the right and this is the left. I can say core Java is to the left of and other is to the right of functional testing. If you understood left, then right is going to be easier. So web element, I have to inspect now. Functional testing. This one. Functional testing. Functional testing equal to driver dot find element by dot id, the value, semicolon. Now, web element, you have to choose the others equal to driver dot find element. Here, relative locator, not locators, dot with what you're going to find. With, I'll go with ID, put semicolon here. Okay. Okay, still it is not fully completed. That's why it's dot. Okay, 1 minute. One bracket for this dot. Why it is not working? Nice. See, I lost my focus. ID. You didn't mention what it is, right? Just with the how it will find. Using locator ID. Then it is to the right of functional testing. To the right of functional testing. Others dot click semicolon. Now it should choose the others. Yes, but UFT is to the left of TestNG, others is to the right of functional testing. Pakka. It's working. To the right of. Okay, next one. Again, if you have readability issue, you can put code like this also. Since I have increased my font size, it is not able to see it in the same line. Okay, now comes the next relative, the last one, relative locators nearby. Again, there is some, usually we talk about in terms of pixels in the web development. So when you say something nearby, that should be within the 50 pixels away from the element. Very, very, very useful one. Trust me, this is such an important one. I can say more than this. This one will be very easy. There are some situations when you inspect this, you will not get even nothing, just some random empty possibilities are there. It may be developed because of some other thing, but you have to enter here. This is one real scenario. Even I worked long back, but that is with the help of UFT. What we will do usually in UFT, we will find this and then we will click on it, then press tab, then enter the value. Nothing but you're trying to automate what you're doing it manually. Manually, you are clicking here means sometimes if we can't identify this, we can't click it. So what we will do, we will identify this and press tab means automatically it will come here. So that manual way how you're doing that you will convert into automation, especially in the Scrum project, nothing will be there. So just assume that in UFT we have that option. Now in Selenium, this is again said as using a nearby. So for this, I am trying to inspect who is the reference here. Enter your query. It's a label. See, it's a label class. So enter your query. I can say enter your query is near. I don't want to confuse that English. What I will say the reference value. First, we'll try to find the enter query equal to driver dot find element. Let's go with XPath this time because nothing is there now. So I'll go with the XPath. Mostly it will go with the label name. Everything will be unique. Everything are common. Only the label name will be different in XPath. This is the label name. I'm trying to find in this page using this label name. After you find next something near to that you have to enter. So here comes the web element. Again, that is name also interior. Okay, it will confuse now. I will say label. Now what I will say, web element and enter your query equal to driver dot find element relative locator dot with by dot which value. Let's try to find using ID and what is that ID value. So what is that? It is near dot nearby what? That label. Let's see how this is gonna work. Something. Hello. Let's see whether this will work or not. Did I choose a wrong one? Okay, relatives them. Fine. I don't know how that was uploaded. So let's see whether this will work or not. See here, it worked. All you need to assume nothing is here, no object, but still we can able to identify with the help of name. There will be some situation like you have to enter here, but nothing will be there. No objects for this. Such type of pages you will see it in the in-sprint automation. What do you mean by in-sprint automation? In the sprint, during the sprint, you have to do the automation. So day one itself or day two, before the development happens in the local environment, that will be using some IP address, local IP. That link they will share you. That if you see that inside that, these things will not be there. So you can use this type of tricks. it will work. Because sometimes developers will help us. They will say, okay, ID only, right? I will give you ID, a unique one. But understand, this web development itself an automated process nowadays. Drag and drop code will be generated. Sometimes if it is not generated, what you will do it? Based on the label, you can, okay, everything see, this is nearby, this is nearby. That's why everything some pixels, so this is near to that. But here comes the confusion. Nearby, it will not work. Maybe be left off, right off, like that. I can do that. Okay. So this is about the relative locators. Such a very powerful mechanism. It will make your script always to pass. So see here, above, below, to the left of, to the right of, near. It is nearby, sorry. It is nearby or near? Just near, not nearby, just near only. Wrongly typed it. Okay, the nearby of 50 pixel away. Okay, all good. Relative locators team. Everyone good till now? Please ping me. Zoom team. Such an important topic team. You will understand the pain of automation tester in Scrum projects. Okay, good. Perfect. Now, thought to do something. Okay, yes. UFT identification flowchart. Well, this is the flowchart. See, it gives some properties, then virtual relational identifier. This is what the one they just try to copy it. Relational identifier, VRI. They tried nearby, they tried it. Another one, actually, they have smart identification. This is like index. Then now in the latest version, it came with the XPath. So where this automation is going is artificial intelligence. So what now this is like one step below the artificial intelligence. This is something like fixed values. You're trying to give this fixed values, but already some tools are in the research. They are in the like alpha beta versions. What such tools will do is, based on the nearby object, automatically, okay, for example, you want to find this one apartment number, so this property is changed. So what it will automatically, based on some nearby value or based on some below value or value, this choosing things also will happen during runtime. If you are saying ID is this one, but during runtime it becomes 3, it will go and check ID. This is not, now the value is changed 3. Okay, why can't I take the same value and execute? Just take the latest value and it will execute it. After execution, what will happen? Once the execution is completed, you get a report. All passed, failed, passed, failed, updated. So now you have to click on update, update, update means the latest value during runtime, whatever it is updated, executed and passed, that it will be saved as a permanently. So this is what the final stop of automation. So once this is comes into the best way, then no more maintenance project. Maintenance project is all about this one, identifying this, right? So if someone able to write an algorithm automatically replace this one means, then it's a game changer. Actually, already some of the tools implementing. Maybe in couple of 2 to 3 years, you can see that in Selenium, if not in other automation tools. So that is something, the next level of object identification. Okay, just an additional information. So this is done. 22. This is done, this is done. Now authentication. 15 minutes there, last program will do it. Rest of the programs we can try to cover it tomorrow also. Handling authentication. Okay. Imported. So handling authentication, the website in, I think that is this one. So we have learned this, the username and password as admin. When you click on this is a window-based application. So either you have to bring the concept of robot class or securely or auto IT to do this. This what we can able to do, this link. I can able to modify that and put like string URL, this link, basic authentication. This can be directly done. If you do this here, after this, what we need to do, username colon password at, this is what I taught you all. Let me put admin as a username, admin as the password. I'll replace this. This is in Selenium 3. Still, I didn't enter into Selenium 4. So one drawback about this particular program is, see, it is handled. What is the biggest problem is, always we will try to give this URL from the data sheet. But the problem here is this handling proxy. This is an additional feature to keep all your secure data. In this URL, you are exposing your username and password, which is not a good idea. This is quite risk, right? And you can't encrypt and decrypt also. So this actually it is handled in much better way. Now this is the URL. Let it be. How we can do that in the Selenium folders? Here again, driver dot see register. Register is a method. Register predicates apply, two attempts apply credentials for any request of authorization, any request for authorization. Always use these credentials. Okay. Now, always use this credential. So what is that? It is user agent. We have a lot of things in different one. For us, it's a username and a password. Dot of. See, everything needs to be given as a string. Admin. Okay. Admin. So here directly you are mentioning the username and password, and there is no change in the URL. If we are not modifying anything. Let's try to execute whether this will work or not. It handled. But again, one question will come. Here also password is exposed, right? That like that you may think, but remember, most of the automation project, functional testers or semi-automation testers will execute the automation test case from Jira or from ALM. we have a feature like we can hide all the code actually from the test management tool. This code will not be visible to everyone, only for the dev team. So in that case, this is an URL, we will get it from the data sheet, but this details now no one, because it's in the code, but this is in the test data. So this is how the improvement they did in Selenium 4. What we need to do, we have a method that is called register method, username and password dot. So this is again, they created a class username and password dot of what is that one. If you want, you can go and explore this. They here wrote a separate class for that to go and fill into those required thing, or you want to explore on register. Again, it has interface, has authentication, then open declaration. Okay, anyhow, if you want, you can go and explore. This is how we will handle the authentication. Still, we have taking screenshot, Chrome Dev Tools, Selenium 4 Grid. Still, I have to do that setup. Let me try it tomorrow. If things are not working, that topic, we'll see it later. Okay. So this is what before, after, all you need to do is you have to use the register method to pass the credential. It does not use a register method. Use a typo error. Driver dot register username password dot of mention it, and normal way to mention the URL. So this is how it's handled in Selenium 4. Is everyone clear till now? I hope you all clear. So that's for today. What I will do is first let me stop the streaming. I think no reply from YouTube for previous question. So I am assuming they understood it. All this program very soon I will upload to Canvas portal by creating a new module below the framework, so that after completing the framework part, you can just learn these concepts. So thank you, YouTube and Zoom team. Zoom team, please stay. Once I stop streaming, we will discuss all your queries. So let me first stop sharing it. Okay. Thank you, team.